Good evening and welcome to News Channel 8. I'm Jerome Aegean, and here's some of the top stories we have for you tonight. Rain wreaks havoc in the Virgin Islands. Toxic odors continue on St. Croix. And the University of the Virgin Islands grads strut their stuff. These stories and more up next on News Channel 8. Top story tonight, the Virgin Islands is still under a flash flood watch, and we're still under a hazardous weather outlook from now almost practically to the end of the week. We've got shower activity all the way up through Friday, a 60 to 40% chance depending on the day and the time. Showers and isolated thunderstorms are expected to affect portions of the Virgin Islands today and tonight, and urban small stream flooding is likely today throughout the heaviest parts of that activity. If you are in a low-lying area, you do want to take precautions for flash flooding may occur in your area. And we're taking a look at the radar map now. You can see the trough of air that has carried with it quite a bit of low pressure and showers from South America all the way up into our area of the Caribbean. And looking at the radar map, you can see the cooler colors such as yellow, green, blue. Those are areas where the storm is at its weakest. And that's, of course, traveling through most of our area. The hotter colors, yellow, orange, red, these are where the storm is at its most intense. So you can see the intense part of this storm is down in South America, moving up into our way as it is carried through that air trough. And we will be saturated with a lot of soil in our area for the next 48 hours at least. So you want to go ahead and take precautions for that. And right here in our Virgin Islands, in our area of St. Croix, part of the Melvin Evans Highway was closed yesterday and earlier today as well. News Channel 8's Wes Small has more on that.
All right, thanks a lot, Jerome. We're here at the Melvin Evans Highway, where you can see St. Croix definitely went through some damage over the weekend. You see here a small section of the Melvin Evans Highway is still closed since Sunday after heavy rains caused flooding. Now, we do have a couple of schools that are canceled today. I believe Pearl B. Larson is one of them due to flooding. And as you can see behind me over my left shoulder there, WAPA workers are working. Obviously, St. Croix did go through some power outages over the weekend, but I want to say heads up to WAPA. They've been working very diligently and hard to keep the power on. Back to the westbound lane here in the Melvin Evans Highway. You might remember it was about a year ago. We had some bad flooding when people were stranded. A lot of motorists were stranded, not adhering to the VIPD's and VITEMA's alerts. Well, this year, the VIPD and public safety, they're not taking any chances, as you could see. Several things were canceled over the weekend, like Relay for Life. They had it going, but they had to stop it short after a few hours because of the heavy rain, thunder, and lightning. The luminary ceremony will be rescheduled. Meanwhile, we had mud, rocks, and other debris thrown about some of the area. And so, just as a precautionary measure, this is what we're seeing. You're also seeing some video now over the weekend that was shot about some flooding that took place and how we have some public works vehicles, I believe, moving and trying to get the highway restorable for the motoring public. All right, and as you can see here now, we are in this section where the Melvin Evans is closed to the motoring public on the west side of the street. Look at Public Works doing the damage, taking care of the damage that was done over the weekend by the powerful storms that we encountered. Want to be real careful here. And look at that. These guys are working hard. Like I said, congratulations to WAPA and also Public Works as well. Doing a great job out here. So like I said, please slow down on the roads as you see these guys out here taking care of our already damaged infrastructure. You can see these guys are driving way too fast. And again, you don't need to drive that fast. Believe it or not, the roads are still slick, and we are still under a flash flood watch for the next few hours. So please keep it down on the roads. And congratulations once again to the men and women at Public Works and also the Water and Power Authority. And congratulations to the VIPD too, because remember, it is Police Week. So congratulations to those folks. I'm Wes Small on the Melvin Evans Highway for News Channel 8.
Thanks, Wes. Well, and just about everyone here on St. Croix is concerned about the toxic situation that has hit us since early last week. And here's a message from John DeYoung, the U.S. Virgin Islands governor. He has a statement about it as well.
For the last several days on St. Croix, the residents have been subjected to very gaseous odor of unknown origin that has disrupted our way of life. From our schools being closed to early dismissals taking place to residents having to seek medical attention. It's been something that I recognize completely has really disrupted matters. I want to thank folks for their understanding and their willingness to work with us. But I'm pleased to report that what we've been able to do in conjunction with all the agencies working together, the Department of Planning and Natural Resources, Department of Health, VITEMA, our federal partners, ranging from the Environmental Protection Agency to the Coast Guard, that we've all been able to try to get a better understanding of what is taking place. And we think that as a result of a conversation, a very open conversation that was taking place today at the Hovensa refinery, that we're much closer to identifying the cause of the odor and a much better position to continue to explain to the community if any what health risks exist and what is there with respect to the residents and what residents ought to be able to do going forward. I myself, for example, today had a chance to visit certain areas on St. Croix, ranging from Claudio Marco School to Central, going down to by Paulie Joseph Stadium, going over by the Good Hope Wim area, just to get a sense as to what's taking place. And I feel extremely comfortable that the Commission of Planning and Natural Resources, as a result of the visit and the encounter at Hovensa, has a good handle on the initial, what took place that caused the worst of the odors that happened early this morning, that really went through especially the western end of the island. And she has a very good handle on that, has spoken to the Hovensa officials. We're continuing to investigate and find out what's taking place with respect to the first day that we had to close Central and the second day that we also had to close Central, what caused those. And we're through a process of elimination, looking at all the industrial sites ranging from Diageo to Crucian to Hovensa, to the Waste Management Authority facility on that side of the island, talking with everyone there to narrow it down to get a much better sense as to what's taking place and to make sure, because when all is said and done, our primary concern is the health of our residents. The hospitals to the clinics have been responding. Individuals have come in and we've treated them to make sure. We've had constant advisories coming out from VITEMA to the public. The Department of Health has been involved. And I ask residents more than anything else, depending on how they're feeling, to make sure that they're checked, to use caution. It's our hope that on Monday schools will reopen. I advise everyone to continue to listen to the radio, television, listen or have access to messages that will come from VI Alert so that we're able to at least communicate with the public. But there's no doubt that the combination of all these agencies, with the assistance of our federal partners, that we will find the problem, we will address it, because our primary objective is to make sure that our residents feel safe, that we address this situation, and we're able to correct it and continue the monitoring that is necessary so that you know that your government is working on your behalf.
And we want to thank Governor John DeYoung for making that statement as well tonight. And the St. Croix University of the Virgin Islands graduates walked down the aisles over the weekend. Let's take a look at some highlights.
This is a joyous and special time of the year for this university. At commencement, we collectively celebrate the fruits of our labor. We come to launch another group of brilliant and dedicated graduates into the atmosphere of their dreams and aspirations. Based on all of the evidence that I have seen so far about this class, I thought that this was a very good class. But I am told that this is a bad class. And the bad is bold, ambitious, and dynamic. And so you are bad. And you know it.
Nicola Alicia Charles, accounting, cum laude. Diane A. DaCosta, accounting. Lornette P. Daniel, accounting. Mallard Douglas, business administration. Malika.
Congratulations to those grads. And when we come back from this break, we'll take a look at a joint operation task force right here on St. Croix.